So to end sort of our option B credit card unit, you guys are going to go through examples of continuing to buy certain items with your credit card and taking different strategies to pay them off so you can see just how much interest fees you're being charged. Because hopefully you're starting to see in this is that if you only pay off your minimum balance that you owe the credit card company, it is really good for your credit score. You get that history of on-time payments, which will really help you with your credit score. But you can get trapped into a cycle of debt if you only do the minimum payment, okay? Where you're always owing the credit card company money and they're always charging you interest fees for continuing to owe them money. So we're going to go through examples so you can see different strategies and just how much more money a credit card actually makes certain purchases cost, okay? So before we do anything, this is going to be your workbook for today. When you go to our Google Classroom, you'll find it under classwork, and then you have the option B right here. But remember, guys, you need to make sure you do the whole Nearpod with all the videos because I'll do most of the assignment with you and walk you through what you need, okay? So when you click on that, it'll open up this right here. And we are going to assume that your credit card has an interest rate of 19.9%. Remember, APR is something you're going to see all over credit card land, and that is the credit card company's interest rate, their annual percentage rate that they're charging you. That is how they make money off of you. The interest rate, the bigger the interest rate, the more money they're making off of you and the more debt you can sort of get into. And as a reminder, guys, your minimum payment each month is 3% of your starting balance. So make sure that you guys have a calculator out. If you need, you can always just go to desmos.com, math tools, and pick one of these calculators. We just need the basic for function today. The next thing, guys, click on the credit card calculator. That's going to let us know just how expensive some of these purchases are with our different strategies. There's going to be a little ad right here, so just scroll down and then you'll see what we need. And now let's go through this first example together. So we're going to pretend that after a couple months, you have a credit card bill of $1,275. So we're going to go ahead and type that into our credit card balance, $1,275. Remember, guys, a balance just means that's how much you still owe the credit card company. That's how much debt you have to the credit card company. Now we want to ask, if you pay the full balance before the end of the bill is due, how much will you pay in interest? So when we come back here, we first need to type in the interest rate, which we said was 19.9. And the payment per month, number one wants to know, well, what if we pay off the entire thing? So we're going to type in 1,275 and calculate, and boom. For going into the month still owing the credit card company some money, they charged you $21 in interest plus all that principal that you owed them total. So if you, so that is what we will type in over here. How much interest did the credit card company charge you? Only $21, which really isn't an insane amount for that much money. But not, a lot of us don't actually have that kind of money at the end of every month to just pay it off down to zero. So let's pretend that you, in number one, you were able to do it to zero. And now we're going to go through some other examples here in number two. So we're going to say your bill is paid off and you're back to zero. You don't owe the credit card company anything. And then when a latest get video game comes out, it costs $60. You pay it, put it on your credit card, but you can't afford to pay the bill all at once this month. Maybe there were car payments you had to do. Maybe there was a home repair that you had to think about. So we're only going to make the minimum payment each month. So how much is the minimum payment if you only owe the credit card company $60? Remember, guys, the minimum payment is usually 3% of what you owe. So when I go over to your calculator, you type in how much you owe, the $60, times 3%, but we have to turn it into a decimal. So we'll use 0.03 to find that 3%. So you only owe $1.80 when we come back over here. $1.80, very cheap. Now we're going to use the credit card calculator to determine how much total interest you'll pay on the debt if you only make that minimum payment of $1.80. So when we come back over here, we're going to change this to $60 that we owe, same interest rate, but we're going to make our payment per month that minimum that we got, 1.8. And now let's see how long it's going to take us to pay off that video game and how much interest we're going to be charged. Boom. So it took us 49 months to pay off that video game with the monthly payment. That's 4 years that it took. And over that time, the credit card company charged you a total interest of $28. So when we come back over here, how much interest did you just have to pay? It was $28. And so then we have to think about, so how much did you actually spend for that video game? Well, it was $60 plus the $28 that they charge you. So I want you to type in both of those numbers here, equals, and that is going to end up $88. So even though the video game only cost $60, the way you used your credit card, you actually spent $88 over those 4 years on that video game because of the interest.